Let us talk and have a conversation. Just imagine you waking up in this big house, the chicks laying beside of you. You go outside, you see 10 cars parked outside. You can pick, choose, and refuse. Just imagine that for me. Imagine you having that for yourself, living there, having those 10 cars, and having chicks laying in your bed when you wake up. Just imagine living that life. How would you feel living in that moment? You know, doesn't it bother you in a way where you realize that you don't have that life now that you're living? Doesn't that bother you? You know, you can't able to wake up to see the life that you want to live. Doesn't that bother you? Like, be honest. I know it does, but it bothers me every day. I mean, give me lack of sleep sometimes. Can't sleep because it's weighing on my mind every single day. But what can I do? I have to put in the work. I have to work hard, grind, make it happen. That's the only way you can live the life that you want to live. You have to put in the work. You can't just sit down and just keep imagining. You have to make some actions behind your imagination. You have to put some action behind imagination. How you think it's going to be played out? Are you going to have what you really and truly desire? You have to put some action behind it. You have to make it happen. Not saying you should rob anyone, steal, but you have to put in the work for you to get the results. It's an old saying, it's an old cliche saying, but it works. And that's what I have to drill and instill into you younger people nowadays because the generation is so messed up. Society is so messed up where younger generations or people who are even older are just living a life where they're under the matrix, living a matrix lifestyle. Meaning, you're born, go to school, you go to school, go to college, you go primary school, go to basic school, primary school, high school, college. For that, you work, retire, you die. That's the matrix lifestyle. But just imagine you waking up in this big, big house with chicks laying all around, cars that you wish to drive. Just imagine that. Close your eyes for a minute and just imagine it. Imagine you being in that moment. Imagine you being there in that moment right now. Just imagine that. How would you feel? How does it feel? I wouldn't say how does it feel, but how would you feel having having that as a lifestyle that you want, having that as a lifestyle that you would want to live? Does not bother you to not to wake up every day in a house where you probably still live with your parents or you don't have what you truly want, what your dream is. And that's the thing with the Matrix, it crushes your dream. Because when you're first born and when you're growing up, you ask a child what do they want to become or what they want to have. And they would say a big house, their dream car is that type. Say their dream car is a Lamborghini or a Porsche, But the Matrix tends to drill that out of your mind so you don't get it. But you have to now look into yourself and say that this is what you want and you will not stop. You will not give up. You will always put in the work get and get it. That's how you escape the matrix. You gotta put in the work, live free. Put in the work so you can be rich, wealthy. You don't answer to anyone but yourself regarding your money or how you want to live your life. You don't answer to anyone but yourself. But the most important part about having all of this is that you have to give the Almighty God credit because He's the one that made all of this possible for you. He's the one that put the imagination inside your brain, saying that this is the lifestyle that I want for you, or this is the lifestyle that I'm going to give to you. But there's no, I would say, there would be nothing if you just sit down and just close your eyes and imagine, or go to sleep and dream about it every single night, and don't put in the work or make some action behind it. You're just gonna keep having imagination until you die, and that's the reality of it. There's nothing you are going to acquire by just thinking about it. You have to go out there and do the work. Meaning that if you don't want to work a 9 to 5, if you want to start your own business, fine. Start your own business. Gradually grow your business and make it your wealth. It's up to you. It's your life to live. You were born to live your own life. You're not born to live based on how your parents tell you to live because they have lived their life and continue to live their life. You're young. They have lived theirs already. Your parents have lived messed up, or your parents have lived and achieved what they want. And you are born to live your own. You're never here on this earth to live a life of who birthed you or who raised you. You're not on this earth to live a lifestyle of how they say that you should live your lifestyle. Your parents are just here on this earth to guide you. So not making mistakes that they know they can prevent you from making. That's what parents are on this earth for. But some of these parents are misguided and have the misconception of being a parent, telling their kids that this is what I want to you, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do this. I want you to be like this. No, that's not how it works. You're here, you're a human. You have a mind of your own. You're supposed to be eligible to make your own decisions. But some of these parents have a misconception of how they should be a parent. And at some point, yes, you love your child so much as a parent, and then you don't want to let them free to be free. You don't want them to live their own. You want them to live with you until you die or they die. No, you have to let the child go. You have to let the child live their own life. You know, as life progresses, you have to now understand that you sitting there or going to bed every night, imagine all of these things, saying that ah, God is giving me this imagination, of being rich, of being this type of person, of having this, but yet still it is not gradually being played out, meaning there's no action behind it. There's nothing you're putting in place to make it happen. That's the problem. You have to put some things in place to make that happen. And I'm not saying, as I said earlier, you should rob, be violent, you should always be a good person, don't do drugs, escape the matrix and mindset, live free, and be rich. I mean, being rich and wealthy mean you have a free lifestyle. You can live what you want to live. Nobody can tell you what you should do or how you should spend your time on this earth, meaning that nobody is allowed to give you they can give you advice, but they should dictate how you should live your life. Because as I said earlier, you have your own life to live, and you have to live it to the fullest of your potential, because you're going to regret not being able to live the life that you want to live. I mean, people says money buy happiness. In some cases, it does. This is a case where let me say this. You will not appreciate money by growing up with a rich parent. You'll appreciate money more when you're broke and you get it because you know how the struggle is. Some people do. You know how the struggle is that you will now think more wiser and have more control when you get to the point that you're rich. Some people do not. When they get money, they turn a fool. They just don't know what to do, and they spend it all and finish it, and going back to where they want, where they were before. That's the problem with us. Some of us, our mindset is not, and that's the problem with us nowadays, and in this modern era, we do not, as humans, evolve quickly. Some of us, 75 of the Earth, are no, like 50, 45% of the people on this earth do not like changes or don't want to adapt to any change that is going to happen in the world. Let me tell you, technology is never going to stop upgrading. Science is never going to stop being it's never going to be stopped. The resources that you have on this earth is never going to stop because someone has died. No. Engineers, more buildings being going up. It's not going to ever stop. It's just going to be a continuation of people, of things gradually keep going without humans, you know? It's just gonna gradually keep going. So you have to, but in some cases, realize that like people that were born before 2000 that never want to adapt to what is going on in the modern era. It is a modern era for a reason. It's called a modern era, and they sometimes don't understand that at some point you have to adapt to what is going on in the world because it won't stop whether you live or die. It won't stop. It is going to continually keep going, you know? But it's a case where those people never, and humans in general, never sometimes want to adapt to change. They always complain and said, always have some complaining to do when the world is trying to evolve and to be a better place. But it's sometimes the people on the earth that makes it take longer to evolve. If our minds were capable of adapting to change as how we expect people to adapt to change, then the world would be a better change. The world would be a better place. I should say. But it's a case where that's not going. I don't think it's going to happen. Why? It said human beings take longer to adapt, take longer to evolve. Some of us on this earth, yes, like changes, like seeing old things being thrown away to have something new, which is more better and can make our life easier on this earth. But as I said in my previous video that I made, I live in a country, I live in Jamaica, and I realize that slavery is being instilled or enforced in our faces, but some of us are not seeing it. Some of us eyes are not open to really understand that slavery is still around in some countries. It is still around. And no matter what you do, you can't really, if you don't have nothing, you can't get away from it. You just have to live under. You just have to live within. For example, if you're not rich or wealthy, you can't escape it. If you don't have a mindset that you want to escape the matrix, you're not going to ever be free. You'll always be living a matrix lifestyle. And that's the thing that I am here to produce out there, to instill people that we need to escape the matrix. And that's the problem that this earth, people on this earth. And I have seen where even if one man, I became, let's just say, if I become the most Google man on the planet or the most influential man sitting right here, first things first, what is going to happen is that there are parties that are going to try to diminish me because I'm trying to do something good in the that's the problem. Good is always being override by the evil that's going on in the world. Because if you open your eyes and see what's going on, as I said, you there are people that are more in demand than who you think is really in demand, meaning in power. They have more power than they're not they're not a face value. You don't know them. You can't see their face. That's how the matrix work. You're not going to see you don't see their faces, but they have the power to do and say and to make things happen. But you won't see their faces. And that's the problem with what I see is going on in this world. And I have witnessed where one man, his name is Andrew Tate, and he and his brother, the Tate brothers, being accused of things that they have never done in their life. Think about it. Why would somebody be human trafficking, be so upfront on social media, always providing good information to the younger generation and to men and to women, feed them with things that they need to open their eyes on? Why would they be so face value with everything like that information and be doing human trafficking? I don't see the motives. I don't see any motives behind that. I just can't see any motive behind that. And that's why the world will never become a better place because of people. People will always make this world a living hell. People will make your life a living hell. And that's how it is. There's nothing we probably can do about it. Because if we all die, the world is not going to evolve. And technology is not going to make itself. We need human beings to do that. And I don't care what they would try to do is to tell me to shut up. Because I don't care. I'm here to give you the information and to tell you, younger youths and men and women out there, to grow up, open your eyes, see what's going on in the world, and try not to live a matrix lifestyle and to always be free. That's where I end.